My name is Devon. I'm the CPO of Green Jar Cannabis Retail. CPO stands for Chief Procurement Officer, so that means that all the cannabis products, everything with THC in it that's on our shelf comes through me first. So I've been involved in cannabis for going on 16 years now. I used to live in Reno, Nevada, and I moved up here a couple years ago and got involved with the Alaskan industry in 2016. Cannabis is important to me because it's a natural, simple thing that can vastly improve somebody's day-to-day life and their quality of life, their well-being. So this all started a few months ago. One of our employees noticed something on an incoming batch of flower. We were able to use a little handheld microscope to look at the flower closer, and upon closer examination, we actually found that there was mold affecting the product. It appeared to be botrytis, which is commonly called bud rot, gray mold. It's the same kind of mold that affects strawberries and raspberries that sit in the back of your fridge for too long. Botrytis is found on the inside of big, dense nugs. It likes high humidity, low airflow, and moderate temperatures, so that's usually where you'll find it. You can break open the nug. You can't always see it with your bare eyes, but underneath a microscope you're able to tell. It's usually inside near the stem. So after we first found mold, we immediately implemented some new procedures. That basically involves us, before we receive any cannabis flower, we will take a small spot sample of 3 to 5 buds off the top of the batch. We break them open and we inspect them thoroughly underneath a microscope for anything that shouldn't be there: molds, mildew, yeast, bugs, anything. And so this isn't a perfect process. Really, we're looking at a pretty small sample size, but we feel fairly confident that if I can look through 3 to 5 nugs and I don't find the evidence of any sort of mold, then the product is clean and it's able to be sold. On the other hand, if I take that small sample and I'm able to find evidence of mold in those 3 to 5 nugs, then it's pretty safe to say that there's more mold throughout the batch and that product should not be sold. It should be taken and given to a manufacturer where it can be remediated and made safe to consume. One of the things about being a legal industry, and one of the misconceptions about the legal industry, is that because it's on the shelf that it's safe to consume, and that's not always the case. We don't test for a handful of common molds and yeasts and bacteria that can affect the cannabis plant, as well as pesticides. So because not everything is tested for in this state, the relationships that I've built with the cultivators are really important. These are people that we can trust. They're not going to be spraying the product with a bunch of pesticides and a bunch of stuff that you don't want on there. As we implemented these procedures and as we got more flower and stuff dropped off to us, it became clear that, as far as I know, we're one of the only retail stores currently doing this, currently inspecting the product beforehand. Our priority at Green Jar is the health and safety of our customers above everything else. If the labs don't test for this kind of stuff, in a sense, we're like the last line of defense, so to say. So that's what Green Jar's quality standard is, that we look through everything before it comes through, and if it's on our shelf, then it's safe to consume, and we'll stand behind that. We're really just trying to spread awareness about this. It's not tested for, the stuff that we're finding. So, I can't tell you how many times people will come in and say, "What do you mean? There's mold in my product. This stuff is past testing." And that's kind of what the problem is that if I didn't look closely at it, this stuff would just be out for sale on our shelf. Overall, the feedback has been pretty overwhelmingly positive. It's not necessarily an easy thing to tell somebody that they have mold in their weed or tell them that they should probably get it remediated. At the end of the day, everybody's really grateful. Really what we're trying to do is just spread awareness about this stuff. I don't want to have to reject this stuff. I don't want to find it in there, but we have to do our part to keep our customers safe. I really am quite proud of the team here at Green Jar. We really are paving the way with this kind of thing and hopefully setting the standard for what this industry should look like.